Hello, Barendipitous here with another video for the board game shelf. And yeah, so you can see this is another pretty big box. Here, I'll use a Pokemon card once again. This box is not as big as Gloomhaven. It's only 1.5 cards tall, but it is quite heavy. And this was the biggest board game box that my wife and I had before we got Gloomhaven. So this is Millennium Blades. Specifically, this is the it says Collusion expansion, but this box actually just has everything. So this is also made by Level 99 Games. This is where I first discovered Level 99 Games when I came across their fighting card games like BattleCon and Exceed, as well as Millennium Blades. The best way that I describe Millennium Blades is, well, it says CCG Simulator Card Game. So imagine games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon trading card game, that kind of thing, right? Now imagine a board game that simulates the experience of being part of a trading card game, a competitive trading card game community, and not just playing tournaments in the community, but also buying, selling, trading cards, and building your collection. This board game simulates all of that, everything I just described, in one board game, and it does take 1.5 to 2 hours to play one game. But this game is all about being just crazy and excessive, and it's set in a world an original world that is basically a world just like our own world, except trading card games are more important. Definitely inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh!, where everything is sort of everyone just cares about trading card games, and that's how people settle disputes. The developers once described it as this world as imagine if instead of the Bible, the Gutenberg press printed instead of the Bible, they printed a set of cards or something. That kind of world, right? So we have the complete game rules. There is a lot going on here. Hopefully I'll briefly describe what it is. Duelist Guide just kind of gives you the lore behind each of the various dueling characters, and there's some really cool ones. I'll briefly explain here. So we got your typical protagonist. He loves to customize his decks. We have an artist collector. We have a stock. We have a stockbroker, so Cardian Collector, an artist and collector of rare cards. Fulton Suitcase, very much inspired by Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, he's this rich guy who he invests in cards, a stockbroker kind of guy. Moray Cardman is a store owner as well. Very much cares about the aftermarket. The Power Creep is a robot, is a Portuguese robot that was basically created to study the meta of the game, which is called, the in-universe card game is called Millennium Blades. So this game is called Millennium Blades, and in-universe they're playing a card game called Millennium Blades. Power Creep is a robot that has gained sentience and is studying the meta. Sherwen Na, she is a sort of a celebrity card dueler. Pritchard Leftfield, time traveler. He created the card game, and then he's also sort of trying to help save the world. Friendly Alien Let's Trade is an alien who comes from space and kind of to understand what the power of friendship means. Cardinal Bands is a judge, is a tournament judge. The Card Shark is this strange monstrosity who's just likes to destroy cards and and everything. Rarity Sikar is she cares about fusing cards. Shafil Ducart is about she's an archaeologist. Protor von Grand Prix is a coach and a player. Grilline Alcartone, Grilline Alcartone, I think is how you say it. She's a card chef, combining cards. Destine Draw cares about the what is it called? The protecting the luck stream, I guess. We have Skillian Top 8. He is a blind Canadian player who is very, very proficient in the game. He's all about discovering the untapped potential of cards. Raul Sawyer is a rules lawyer basically, and he's a very good player because he knows the rules inside and out. We have Proxan Counterfeit the Third, who is all about counterfeit cards. Captain Cheetar, he's a pirate ghost. He's been banned from playing the game for 1,000,000 years, for 1,000 years, for a millennia, and now he's back. Now that he's not banned anymore. We have another robot, Pressmaster 1000 GTX Make 3, basically a card printer. Then we have essentially this game's version of Exodia, Exaltius the Untenable, and then finally we have Aaron G, a rap singer, and Mysterious Alien F. So like a different alternate dimension version of this mysterious alien. Let's trade, friendly alien. Let's trade. These are all the various characters, and now the main game really only has these first 6 characters. And these other ones come from various expansions. Lots of fun lore, and also back here it talks about all the various sets that are in here. We got everything from a set that parodies Magic the Gathering. There's lots of Magic the Gathering jokes. The sets that parody video games and anime and stuff like that. It's crazy and ridiculous. Let's see, some fun stickers here. So what I have here is basically like a Kickstarter product, which I actually missed the Kickstarter, but I was lucky enough that I was able to find someone on Board Game Geek who was willing to sell their complete collection basically, and now I have it. I got it for a little bit cheaper than the Kickstarter would have been. I think I paid about maybe $100, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, during the game, there are 2 sides here. During the tournament, there are 2 phases in the game. There's a tournament phase and the collection phase. During the tournament phase, you basically have your deck of cards, and your deck's only going to be about 10 cards. You play one card everyone plays a card, then everyone just plays one card at a time, and the cards interact with each other on the tableau. You have different items in your deck box and everything. During the collection phase, you get points for making a collection with certain rules, and your binder is kind of where you have all your cards. Your deck area is for all your cards you're taking to the tournament, and your binders for all your other cards. It kind of gives you information on how to play and stuff like that. There is there's so much stuff in here. So yeah, some neoprene mats here. There's an NPC mechanic. So if you collect cards that NPCs you get points from them. There's an aftermarket area. Then there's also a card fusion zone as well, and also a general store area. But yeah, and here are all of the cards from all of the expansions of Millennium Blades. By the way, another cool thing is that the money in here is represented by not just a single piece of paper, but this is 10 pieces of paper that were combined by a sticker. And you actually, when you get the game, you actually have to do this yourself. They have all the pieces of paper in a row, and they give you the stickers, and you have to do this yourself. So this is a bit of an arduous process, but my gosh, it feels good to just kind of buy cards by dropping wads of cash. So this game was truly made by people who love collectible card games. So let's see. Over here we have various characters. The character cards. There's various tokens. Gosh. Oh yeah, there's even more money right there. So during the game during the game there's going to be 2 store decks. One that you can buy cards from. One deck is going to be the base set, and that's what all of these are. And then another deck is going to have a bunch of different individual sets, and you can choose which sets to use. You're not going to use all of these cards in one game. You're going to choose a certain number of card sets to put in the game itself. So let's say, for example, that I put this set in there. This is 7-card Slugfest, and there's these various cards with the various abilities and types and things like that. There are some sets that are based on other board games and so forth. Here, actually, there's some starter decks as well. So, for example, this is a deck that's fully red, as you can see, red decks here. And And you can kind of think of like Magic the Gathering sort of like colors a little bit. Red tends to be more aggressive. Black tends to be like, sort of like, since, well, black, no, there's not black in here. There's like purple or whatever. It tends to be like, destroying cards. White tends to be more protective and things like that, right? It's not an exact one-to-one to Magic the Gathering, but it's fairly close. There's various items like deck protectors, and also each set will have a deck box. Um, so in the tournament phase, after a tournament phase is over, you don't necessarily attack people. What you care about is RP, or like rank points. And in the tournament phase, if you're trying to have more rank points than everybody else, and you win that tournament, and you get victory points based on that. And that's what deck boxes are for. At the end of a tournament, a deck box will say, "Hey, gain this many rank points if you satisfy this criteria." So the idea is that when you buy cards, especially if you buy cards face down, you notice it looks like a booster pack right here, right? Like kind of like this is its own set and it's a booster pack. And usually, if you're competitive in a card game, you open up the pack and you kind of like you sort of like toss aside like the commons and uncommons, and you have your one rare card. And that's what this is. There's a card inside of this card, right? So imagine if you open this booster pack and the rare card inside of it is Shalastar, Heroine of the Axe. And you get this ability with this card. There's some abstraction to the tournament phase, but it kind of has to be with so much going on with this game. And then during the tournament phase, you sort of like you have your deck of your deck of cards that you've built, and you play through it. Then after the tournament phase it alternates basically. So in one game, at least in a beginner game, there will be like you start with the tournament phase with like starter decks, you learn how the tournament phase works. Then you do a collection phase in which you do a bunch of like buying and selling cards and trading cards and stuff like that to build your decks and build your collections. And then after that, you do another tournament phase. And depending on how much time, you can do another collection and tournament phase. And after all of that, you tally up all of your victory points and stuff. You get victory points for winning tournaments. You get victory points for your collections. You get victory points for, trading card. There's like a friendship mechanic and stuff. Very anime. Whoever has the most victory points at the end wins. So, and if you don't start with the tournament phase, you just start collection phase, tournament phase, collection phase, tournament phase, collection phase, tournament phase. Three sets of those, and that usually takes about an hour and a half or so. One of the reasons why it takes an hour and a half is it doesn't just take a lot to set up, but the collection phase, at least the way it's meant to be played, is meant to be played with an actual timer. Like you actually set a 20-minute timer, and everyone has 20 minutes of real time to buy, sell, and trade cards. So during the collection phase, you kind of have this, you can do whatever you want in the collection phase. You can buy and sell and trade and do all kinds of things, or fuse cards as much as you want, as long as you have the money for it. But also, there's lots of things competing for your attention, and that's the main resource that you have. It's your attention. It's what you choose to focus on during those 20 minutes before the next tournament starts. So that's basically how the game goes. I've played this game probably about a handful of times, probably about 3 or 4 times so far. Every single time my wife wins. Every single time. It's so funny. I'm the one who wanted this game, and she was happy to have it as well, but she just keeps winning every single time. I don't understand what it is. And she doesn't even obviously she tries to win, but it's not like she understands the in-depth strategy of the game. She just does what she can. I think it's not that she's good at it. It's just that maybe I'm bad at it. I don't know. But, or maybe I'm just I just want to try cool combinations and stuff. Another cool thing about this game is that even if you just get just the base game, you'll probably have maybe about half the half the number of cards that are here. But even then, you only pick a small section of these cards to play in a single game. And that's depending on the sets that you choose, that's your own meta of your game. You can change the meta if you want by changing the sets in the next game that you have. So I just really love the lore and the concept of this game in general. This is the only game that Level 99 Games has made that uses this world, understandably so. I don't think they're really planning on making anything else in this like universe, as far as I know. I'm not aware of anything new that they're going to do with Millennium Blades right now, because goodness knows they've done plenty. but but I'm happy to have what I have. Honestly, this is just really cool. I really, oh gosh, forgot the mats here. But yeah, as so this is, and honestly, this is also very helpful for someone like me who like is enamored by the idea of collectible card games or trading card games, but I don't really have the time or the money to heavily invest in Magic the Gathering or in Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or something. Like we'll get Pokemon cards and stuff, to open packs and to have fun, but to like actually play and collect and try to like get all the rare cards and stuff, no way. I can't really be competitive in a card game, but I have this, and that basically simulates the experience all in one board game, and I think that's fantastic. I'm very happy to, and honestly quite lucky to have this as well. So yeah, I love it. Obviously as a card game enthusiast, this is perfect for me, even though it is rather big. That is a thing, but I'm very happy to have this. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, all the best.